It's Fancy Friday.
Hi, I'm Danisha Mingo, CEO of Mingo Health Solutions, where we provide counseling and therapy services as well as services for children with autism. I founded Solutions of Change to help those who are uninsured or underinsured be able to access mental health care. Fancy Friday was started as a response to the pandemic since people were stuck at home. It promotes mental health by encouraging people to get dressed, feel good, have something to look forward to, and have fun.
Hello, my name is Charles Whitby. I am a tech founder, custom clothier, and stylist. I support Solutions of Change and Fancy Friday because when you look good, you feel good, which is essential to your mental health.
Hi, I'm Donnie Lee, licensed and board certified music therapist. I bring the good vibes that heal the soul to Fancy Friday. I don't always wear a suit, but when I do, it's for Fancy Friday.
Hi, I am Trina Marie Shaw. I help people buy and sell homes in the city of Las Vegas and surrounding areas of the fabulous state of Nevada. You're asking me why am I involved? It actually hits pretty close to home. My mom suffered with a mental health condition, something that my family didn't talk about because we just didn't know about it. So my goal is to make sure that this becomes a normalized conversation and that we remove the stigma.
Hey, you guys, welcome to Fancy Friday. As y'all know, April is Autism Awareness Month, and we are excited for tonight's show. You know that Fancy Friday was birthed in response to the pandemic so that we can normalize conversations about various mental and behavioral health issues that impact all of us so that we could begin to have dialogue, begin to have healing, grow tips, share stories, and just do better. And so we are excited with April being Autism Awareness Month to have a couple of major guests. The second guest you'll hear is from Clemencia Best from Ground and Gift, who has a Race for Hope for Autism Awareness that MHS and Solutions of Change participates in every year. So we're excited to hear from her. But our first guest is just so important, and I'm thankful, is one of my board members, Vernon Taylor, who works with Envy Energy, and his wife, the beautiful Jennifer Taylor. You see her here sharing their personal story as they have a daughter who's 17-year old and who has been diagnosed with autism. And so we're thankful to have them here to share their personal story, y'all. Welcome to Fancy Friday.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
And look, Vernon, we cannot see you, but it is Fancy Friday, and we saw this beautiful Jennifer checking herself, making sure she was on point. So really quick, Jennifer, let us know, how do you keep your fancy, especially being a wife and a mom?
How do I keep my what?
Your fancy.
Oh, you just have to work it in. You have to make it work.
You make it look wonderful now.
Yeah,
We thank you
thank
both for being open to share your personal story, experiencing being parents of a child with autism. Your daughter is now 17 years old. What is her name? And tell us briefly about her.
Well, her name is Nicole, and she's 17 years old, and she has ASD, which is autism spectrum disorder. So she's considered a very high functioning individual.
And so with her being high on that spectrum, how were you able and when were you able to determine that, she had ASD?
Well, probably because she was not hitting her milestones when she was an infant. And so that is the primary notifier for parents. If your child is not hitting their milestones, if they're not crawling or walking, or language is probably one of the biggest indicators. She just didn't have language right away.
And one of the ways or the main way we were able to detect that is that Nicole has a twin brother, and he was hitting his milestones. As a matter of fact, he was hitting them very quickly. And because of that, we asked ourselves, well, how come Nicole is not hitting hers? And so we began to get concerned. And that's when we started to investigate how we could go about and finding out, is there any help that she needs?
And how old was she at this time?
Probably 3, because your kids your infants are going to start touching on those milestones about 3 years.
So I know you kind of gave some examples, but were the examples you gave, and I know you said language for Nicole specifically, but were those the ones, with the crawling and all that specifically that impacted Nicole? And I asked that because every child is different. So while we have these milestones that generally children hit, I'm wondering if you did not have her twin brother, might you have been as pressed to make that comparison or be concerned or say, hey, we need to get her checked, or might you have waited a little longer? I'm just wondering what the influence of having the twin to compare did to you guys taking action.
It played a little impact, but I had done a lot of reading about infants and what milestones were and what she should be doing. And we had placed her in a pre-K, I think, program. And the teachers, and this is very important. One of the educators pulled me aside and whispered to me, I think you need to have her evaluated. And apparently, I don't know if the teachers are really allowed to do that. This was 17 years ago. So I don't know, what the rules are with that today. But I got the impression that she didn't know how I would respond. And she pulled me aside and whispered to me, you should have her evaluated. And so that is really what led us to go and get her professionally evaluated.
Yes, and in regards, you asked, did her twin brother, our son, did he denote anything? I think at that point in time, he was really too young to, recognize the differences we were seeing, and to him, he loved his twin sister, and she loved him. We could see that love taking place within the home, and so I don't think. I want to say when we denoted those issues with Nicole, it was probably about 3 years later that my son probably noticed something was a little bit different.
And
how did you know that he noticed?
Yes, that was my
sorry, Trina.
Yes, that was my question too. Because he was so young.
I would say one of the things I would notice is that they would still play together, and they were best friends. Still to this day, she has such love for him. But he had a lot of friends, and I think she was finding that it was hard for her to make friends. We also had them at different schools, and he would wonder, how come Nicole's not going to my school? And so we had to kind of, explain to him, okay, here's some issues that are happening, and here's the situation. It's not dire. We're getting Nicole the help she needs, but you have to understand you're going to always have to be there for your sister, regardless of what these outcomes are going to be.
Oh man, there's so much I want to ask, so many places I want to go. I don't want to dominate this. Trina Marie, do you have a question? Because I have a few that I want to ask.
No. I guess I do. So, like, emotionally, how did it affect you guys?
Well, when you realize that you have a special needs child, there are a myriad of emotions that you go through. Acceptance is the first thing that you that you encounter. Acceptance is very difficult. And so once you accept it, then you have to determine what the real issues are, what are the real challenges, and then you have to figure out how to get your child help, because ultimately you just want your child to be happy, and you want your child to be a productive member of society, and you want your child to have independence if they can.
Yep.
That's okay.
I hear you saying like that was a part of your emotional journey. What has been probably one of your greatest challenges of having a child on the spectrum?
Probably access to resources. And 17 years ago, living in Las Vegas, there were very few resources for children on the spectrum. I mean, we were able to find resources, but one of the professionals that I spoke with told me about a school in Texas that I could send her to that was $45,000 a year. And it was just fabulous school for kids on the spectrum. And I'm like, $45,000 a year. So there were resources out there 17 years ago, but in Las Vegas, there were very, very few. I understand that's changed a lot. Here we are. But that was the biggest challenge. And the second challenge was, if you find resources, how to pay for it. Vernon and I are both professionals. And so we were blessed with the ability to be able to privately pay for resources for her. And I understand now in health insurance has to pay for certain services like ABA therapy. I had to privately pay for all of that. Wow. I mean,
Jennifer, at what age did Nicole start getting ABA therapy? Because that just became a covered service in Nevada in 2014.
Probably at 4. I mean, I privately paid for ABA therapists, and we spent thousands of dollars on doctors, therapists, all kinds of tutors. And so we paid for ABA therapists to come into our home and work with her.
Okay, we're kind of getting on our time. I know people out there relate. I know this resonates. I hear you saying that Nicole is considered high on the spectrum. So tell us, what does that look like for Nicole? Because I heard you saying that language was one of her barriers and challenges as far as a milestone when she was younger. So, and we know that every child looks different, but what does high look like for Nicole specifically? And what is her quality of life right now at 17 years old?
Well, Nicole has a fantastic quality of life. She developed language probably at age 5. Okay. And I was determined to make sure that she acquired language and that she was able to read, because that opens up a whole new world for you if you can read, of course. And so she attends a special school. She's very happy. She has friends, which is very uncharacteristic of children on the spectrum. A lot of children on the spectrum don't want to socialize. They would prefer to be by themselves. Nicole is the opposite. She has girlfriends. She does have a social life. And so our goal for her in the future, and what we're currently working on, are ways for her to live an independent life.
Oh, beautiful.
And then, as Jennifer said, we tried to, we're trying to give her the best life we can possibly give her. And as she was growing up, we were trying to find those activities that Nicole would adapt to and grow into them and grow to love. I love sports, so I was trying to push her down a path of sports. My son was playing soccer at the time, and this was probably when she was around 5 or 6. And I got her onto my son's soccer team. And the very first practice, she did probably 15 jumping jacks. And next thing you know, she dashed over to the sandbox and was playing with a little kid. So at that point in time, I realized sports wasn't going to be the angle she'd go through. So what we did find is that she loved music. She loves to sing. She loves to dance. We got her involved in, a dance group. So she did the dancing. She took swimming lessons. So she was really good at swimming.
Played the drums?
Played the drums. That's right. We got her involved or signed her up at one of these music schools, and she was playing the drums. But She loves to play music, dance, and she loves to read now. There'll be times where she's reading a book out loud, even though it's out loud, we
Very
still
loud.
promote her reading. And we're like, okay, is she talking to someone on her phone? What's going on? But it's her, she's deeply involved into the story. It's just wonderful to see that, she has has taken advantage of these opportunities, and she's found things that she does love. So it's that growth that touches your heart, of a child with special needs, that, they can, go down this path of normalcy.
And I think that's what's important, just because I know you guys are running out of time, but I think that's what's important. The most important thing, if I could tell anyone, is to get help early. I mean, what I've been told, if you wait till they're 5 years old,
it's a different story. And so that leads me to my last question, because I heard the same thing too. I remember when Toni Braxton first came out about it, early detection is key. She kept talking about that. So what do you do? Because we're a community and we're all supposed to be able to help each other. And if you recognize, or, you might have thoughts in your head that you might see a child and the parent, the mom, what advice could you give to that person, or dad? You're right. Thank you. What advice could you give to that person of how they can maybe say something to the parent? Because you're noticing, because either you had kids before, so you're noticing that maybe they should be talking at a certain age, but they're not, or they should be doing something at a certain age. What advice could you give to that person to say, few words that you could say to help them maybe say something? And I know it's such a touchy place to be, because we're so sensitive of our kids. And then lastly, what advice could you give to the parent that if someone says something in the most loving and respectful way, what advice could you give to them?
I would tell people to get professional intervention as soon as possible. And I never presume that someone's child is on the spectrum and offer that. Usually it has to be a situation where someone asks me about that, because there are a lot of comorbidities. There are a lot of kids on the spectrum that have other issues. So it's a very complex, multifactorial issue. So I would say get professional help immediately. And acceptance is very difficult. You have to try to accept, what God has given you and make the best of it. That's what I would tell. Professional help immediately. And you have to become an advocate for your child in the medical field, in the academic arena, and just in life. You're always an advocate for your child.
Thank you. This is fantastic. I mean, there's so much more. Donnie, I see you unmuted. Thank you for joining us. Do you have any lasting questions or words?
Yes, thank you for the warm welcome. I'm so glad I can see all these beautiful faces, even if just for a few minutes. Jennifer, I'm not sure if someone has already asked the question, but I would like to ask you this. How has your own mental health played a role in your ability to effectively parent your child?
Well, I think a family unit is very important in helping everyone on this journey. But though I do have friends who were single parents dealing with kids on the spectrum. So it obviously, you can do it, but having a family unit and just support from grandparents is vital to everyone's mental health. You need that. And luckily we had that and we have that. And the other thing I would point out is if there are other siblings in the household, my daughter has a twin brother. And so for a number of years, I know he was psychologically impacted because for her first 8 years of her life, I'm constantly having tutors and therapists come to the house. And the attention that I was able to pay to the other children suffers. So that's a whole other issue. That's a whole other area. And I know there are support groups for siblings of children on the spectrum because they can't be ignored. And that's an issue. That's a real issue that you have to be cognizant of, is if you have a special needs child and you have other children in the home, how do you balance that?
Thank you for sharing that.
Those are some powerful
Yes.
points.
Yeah. Thank you too, Vernon, for sharing, your story as well. Although
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
The big subject. We could talk for days about it.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we just want to thank you guys again for sharing your story, for being transparent, for being open. I know this touches so many people. Like, luckily for you all, you were accepting at a time where it was still very new, and it is still very new, but I'm thinking like 17 years ago, regardless of what your background is, there's some minority influence there for both of you, and to be open when that's not traditionally a part of, right, various minority cultures. So I just commend you for being people and getting the help that you need for both of your children, and also recognizing, how this still impacts your family system. And we always share that family support is one of the biggest mitigating factors in recovery, and that's from anything. So we see that it here as well. I know, Jennifer, you kind of said some lasting words, but just because we did ask another question, I asked if you or Vernon, just really quick, any final words that you want to share with any family who may be dealing with a child who's on the spectrum.
I would just say it's a road that you're going to have to go down, and a process that you really have to maintain a deep faith that you can get through it, and that God doesn't give you more than you can handle. I've told myself that numerous times, and it's not easy. But luckily, like Jennifer said, family matters, but so does having a loving wife who is there with you to get you through all this. So I thank Jennifer for that.
Amen.
Yes.
We consider it our journey. And that's what it is. It's a journey. And at the end of the day, she's a young woman now. I mean, at the end of the day, she's a young woman, and the goal is for her to be healthy and happy and a productive member of society, and to be able to live independently on her own.
Say that.
So
again.
there is going to be a point at which you guys expect her to be independent of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yep.
Well, thank y'all again. You guys, if you have any other questions, you can reach out to us at mhsbehavioralservices.com. You can reach out to Grant a Gift, and we will also gather, some other information and resources for you guys to connect with if you want to hear more of the Taylor stories. We thank y'all for joining us. Be a part of the race for hope, okay? And if you have any topics or questions that you'd like to hear covered on Fancy Friday, as May is Mental Health Awareness Month, please let us know. Thank y'all for joining us, and know that, hey, it's Fancy Friday, mental health matters, and behavioral health matters. We are in this together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night. God bless.
Later.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank y'all again.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like the beautiful sea. I choose to be happy. I'm not afraid to shine like a diamond in the sky. We're shooting stars, you see, a vision of ecstasy. We are free and we're alive. We're diamonds in the sky. I know that we are all one energy. One energy. We could see so much more if we'd close our eyes. We'd finally see that we are alive.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Palms raised to the universe, freely give and receive. With claps hands before the heart, we are diamonds in the sky. High vibrations, you can see a vision of harmony. We're alive and we're the vibe. We're diamonds in the sky. I know that we are all one energy. One energy. We could see so much more if we'd close our eyes. We'd finally see that we are the light.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Oh, we are.
Shine bright like a diamond.
We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Oh,
Shine bright like a diamond.
beautiful like shine bright tonight. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright tonight. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Oh, shine bright like a diamond. Ooh, shine bright like a diamond. Whoa, shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Oh, shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Oh, beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Yes, we are. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Y'all, welcome back to Fancy Friday. I am one of your hosts, Denisha Mingo here, and I'm here with Clemencia Best, who is a registered behavior technician and also has her master's in education. And she works with Granagift, which is an autism organization. She's worked with them since 2015 as a contractor and currently is the vocational program director that helps individuals with autism developmental vocational skills. Granagift also partners with the Ackerman Center in a clinic that is multidisciplinary, and it teams with individuals who have autism ranging from 3 to 19 years old. So Clemencia has experience in assessment procedures, social skills groups, vocational skill development, one-on-one therapy, and parenting training. And her master's is actually a master's in curriculum and instruction from Arizona State University. So welcome here, Clemencia. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for
Clemencia.
Hi. Thanks for having me here today to speak to you guys.
No, we're grateful to have you. And obviously, we just heard a personal story prior to you of a family who has a daughter who has autism. And so you working on the professional side as a registered behavior technician and you having your master's in education as well as working with, you know, such a major leader in the autism world in Nevada and Las Vegas with Granagift. We're just thankful that you're lending, you know, your expertise and experience here with us today. You're looking beautiful.
Thanks.
Before we hop into the interview though, because we know you do some difficult work, it really takes a special person to be passionate and stay persistent in any particular industry, but especially with, you know, those people and kiddos who have autism. So we just thank you for your efforts. But before we get into those questions, I want to know, because you're looking really cute, how do you keep your fancy?
How do I keep my fancy? Actually, I'm just a real simple girl. So my fancy is if it's comfortable, I'll do it. So that's how I keep my fancy. Yeah.
So what's the necklace you're wearing? I mean, it's a standout necklace you got on right now.
Oh yeah, I actually this is a cool little found. I went to an Indian festival, like Indian food, and they were selling jewelry, and I was like, oh, this one looks really cute. So I was like, I'm gonna take it. So if it is fancy, it's usually a classic piece. I'm a classic piece kind of gal.
Awesome. So Clemencia, tell us a little bit about like what led you into getting into the field of working with children with autism and Grant and Gift.
Okay. Yeah. So that was a pretty cool journey. It started when I was in high school. And so that was about 2002, because I graduated in 2003. So a teacher that I worked with had a son on the spectrum. I'm actually to this day the only babysitter that ever took their son on an outing without her by himself. We took him skating. That was his first event without family. I guess fast forward, a real close family member in our family has a son on the spectrum. And so that just kind of, once I graduated from college, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, you know, that kind of scenario once you graduate, trying multiple jobs. I'm like, it doesn't fit here. And so I decided to go into education and work in special education. And then I moved to Las Vegas about 2011, 2012. And I worked at a private school called New Horizon as an assistant. And I just worked really well with individuals with autism. We had a presentation that came for behavior analysis. And that's when I discovered it was like a huzzah moment. And I was like, this is where I need to be at. So that started my journey of becoming an RBT and how I got with Grant and Gift and got my certification as an RBT, and then working on my master's for my certifications to become a behavior analysis, which is coming pretty soon, testing in May for that. So
yay.
So yeah. So that is my journey in a short little snaps.
No, congratulations to you on that, because we do know that the ABA field is very new to Nevada comparatively to the rest of the United States and even the world. The service being paid for has only been covered since 2014. And, you know, as you got a chance to see for, you know, Her Story, the Women's History Month, you know, one of the things that is being pushed in legislation right now is for cultural competency for all licensed professionals. And so what I do know in regard to the ABA field is there is a much, you know, need for minority providers, and that includes males, right? Males are a minority in mental health and in autism, but especially people of color and other backgrounds. And so it's a much needed, it's very needed, and we're thankful that you're feeling that.
It is. And, you know, me being Native American and Black, I am, for the percentage of, I think Native Americans from the board was 0.3% and African Americans as BCBAs is 3%. So I'm upping the numbers in that diversity of that, like you said, more culture competency of understanding everybody's culture and how you can use that to effectively help that family develop those treatment plans to help their child who's on the spectrum.
So what are some symptoms or whatever that someone could start to recognize, maybe to pay attention? Because I hear stories sometimes with like moms, especially where they, you know, they kind of might feel bad because they think that they should have caught it sooner.
Yeah. So usually the most common area that parents should look into is the communication and the social skills. If you're seeing, you know, those indicators that your child is not speaking as fast or they're not interacting with their peers, those are kind of the main areas in autism that when they get diagnosis, those are the main areas that is focused on and they look at for that diagnosis.
Okay. I still say it's kind of hard. So maybe give a little bit more, only because, like, you know, they always tell you to don't compare your kid to another kid because sometimes they might be a little bit slower at, let's say, speaking. So besides speaking, like, are there places where if you just want to be certain that you could take the child to get tested to find out, and if so, where?
I would say, because because I don't diagnose, I can't really like say like, oh, go here, go here.
Right.
But usually like a good indicator is like when your kid's young and do they babble? That's like a big indicator. If they're not babbling or saying certain words, that would be a good indicator for you to be like, okay, let me go check and see how my child's doing, and then contact your medical provider or your psychologist or wherever that direction that is for, or early development. Those are some things that you can look for.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And Trina Marie, I think you brought up a good point, because although we have these milestones, every child is truly on their own journey. And so we don't want to get so tied up in saying, oh, my child didn't walk at this many months or didn't speak at this many months, and then get anxiety. So at what point should a person say, okay, this is, abnormal? And, Clemencia, you brought up a good point, and you said, hey, you don't diagnose. So can you explain to the people what that process of is from, getting a diagnosis of autism to getting potential applied behavioral analysis, which is what ABA stands for, those services for their child who may have autism?
So usually the process with that is you'll go through a number of assessments that your medical provider or your child psychologist goes through. They set their criteria and ask parents multiple questions and test the child with that different assessment that they do. From there, to get ABA, they usually give, for insurance purposes, the FA11. And that's just kind of like the doctor prescription to saying like, hey, this child has autism and they are in need for services. And a lot of times, like families, it is kind of, you're kind of thrown out there. So parents would, you find like services like Grant a Gift that are there to find the resources to help you get the ABA services, the OT, the speech, whatever the parent training, whatever training that your family needs. There's places like Grant a Gift that will help you navigate that way. I have a friend who's a behavior analysis and a parent on the spectrum, and she says the best resource for parents to do is start developing their own binder. And that's like your diagnosis, the treatments, the providers. If you have like a little cheat sheet of questions that you want to ask providers for the services that you're needing, like we talked about that culture competency, you might want to have some questions that you want to ask your provider when they're given the treatment for your child. Like, what is your supervision like? What kind of treatment that applied behavior analysis that they're using? Is it, more, we call it discrete trial? Is it more table-based? Are you being more naturalistic? Do you focus on early intervention? So those are some things that parents should have, ready to go to kind of go on that journey. There is a lot filled with that journey. So if you have your place to go binder with all your needs, you have it ready to go to add your arsenal, in a sense, to answer those questions and advocate for your child and get the training that your child would need to help them overcome those social and communication deficits that they may have.
Oh, awesome. And is there, I don't know, not sure if you're able to answer this too, but I know it's tough for parents and even friends who are close to parents too, who may have to deal with someone who have autistic. Is there anything that you can offer them to help them along with the process as far as managing their emotions?
So like Grant a Gift, so our community partner does the diagnosis and the ABA side of the treatment, because we are all about from childhood to adulthood. And on our side, on Grant a Gift, we do the vocational training, and we also provide family services. So in our family support system, we do the case management, like I said, that helps them contact the resources that need, provide referrals or information for their guidance. For our parents, we offer support groups. So we have our guardian and parent support group. And this is a group just kind of for parents and guardians to connect with parents, guardians, community help people, speakers, and autism professionals to help them kind of discuss the struggles that they're going through and what information they do to help them guide. So for example, the one that is this week, actually tomorrow, we have Dr. Julie Beasley coming to present about transition and anxiety, and especially with the changes right now with the students going back to school. and how to help your child overcome their anxiety about being in public, because we are in the middle of a pandemic and that transition of change. A lot of times our students are.
I know, and you're so right that you're hitting that right on the nail. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have that support, and that group actually meets, like I said, the last Thursday of every month.
And so I'm sure all of these groups and everything you offer is on the Grant a Gift website, correct, Clemencia?
Correct. So yes, you can definitely find it. We have the calendar on our website. We do provide free training for the community too. And that's our ABA perspective, which ABA is Applied Behavior Analysis. And that's part of our mission. We talk about collaboration with the community. So this is collaborating with local ABA providers, and they do an education. It's in the comfort of your own home, and it teaches you the basic principles of the treatment that they will potentially be getting or already receive, and how they can apply that immediately within their home. And so that one meets like the second week of the month. So we have 2 days for that. So Tuesday is for the younger children from 2 to 12, and then Wednesday is for like the older students, which is 13 and older. And
you spoke of collaborating, and so we're thankful to be able to collaborate with you guys. For all those listening, you can see the slide here that has the website for Grant a Gift, their contact information. We'll put also whoever the best contact email is out in the chat and on the YouTube slide, so that people can reach out to you and or Grant a Gift for all of the services, because you guys do service children and or adults. Speaking of collaborations, because we do kind of have to wrap it up. I know there's so much to share in so little time, and I'm sure that people out there, like Trina Marie said, they're getting nuggets, and you know, this can't be a one-time thing. But with April being Autism Awareness Month, we definitely want to talk about all of the diagnoses in the DSM. You know, Fancy Friday typically centers more around some of our mental health issues, but there are a lot of co-occurring mental health or, you know, more behavioral health diagnoses along with autism. And so really quick, Clemencia, please share with everyone about the blue sign, as well as the Race for Hope that's happening, so that they can partner with Grant a Gift and MHS and Solutions of Change for what's happening next week.
Definitely. So tomorrow, we are lighting the Las Vegas sign blue. So it will be blue. If you guys want to go and take a picture, feel free and tag us on Instagram or your Facebook. It will be blue on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So take your pictures, enjoy the strip. And then coming up is our second virtual race. That will take place of the week of April 19th through the 16th. Okay. So we're just giving participants to do it within the 7-day span. You can run, walk, hike, bike, skip, whatever you want in the name of helping individuals with autism. So registration, you can go on our website. And we'll share that link with you guys too. And what's really cool about us doing the virtual race is that the day of pickup, April 9th, we are also having a resource fair for families to meet local providers. And like I said, we're collaborating with our community partners to help our families the best way that we can. So this is just a way for families can get resources, ask the questions that they need alongside with their free race bag. And they can also do drive-through if they want to as well. And we're following CDC guidelines, so please wear your mask.
We'll be there.
Yeah. And so some of our providers that will be there will be Inclusion Fusion, CARE, Prototype, Intercare, BAE, Brain Solutions, NEAT Services, and MHS Behavioral Services, and an Ackerman Center, and of course ourselves, Grant a Gift. So so come out, meet some of the providers, like I said, ask those questions that you're looking for. So yeah, it'll be a fun time.
That sounds like some power resources.
Yeah, thank you for all that information. We definitely have to do this together. A community is much stronger when we're all supporting each other.
Exactly. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It's the same with autism. It takes a village to raise a child with autism.
And one of our hashtags is what? We're in this together. So
yes, definitely. We're definitely in this together. We couldn't survive without that.
Well, thank you again, you guys out there. We have Clemencia and Granite Gifts information up here on the screen. We'll also put that in the chat. So make sure you guys reach out. Please join us for the Race for Hope. Please look out for that sign going blue and make sure you take a picture or hashtag in support for autism awareness, you guys. And we thank y'all for joining us. We thank you, Clemencia and Granite Gift. And we'll look forward to seeing you very soon and hearing from our audience as well. Thank y'all.
And don't forget, you guys, if you want to continue to support Solutions of Change, you can definitely go onto the website, solutionsofchange.org/donate, and feel free to give us a donation. We need all the support that we can get. Last 6 months, we were able to help over 100 people were able to receive therapy, counseling, or something. So we're definitely doing something. I'm so excited.
We're trying to get on Granite Gifts level.
Yeah, right.
Major organization.
We need that mental health help. That's so awesome.
Yes. Okay.
Well, we just want to help. Hey, Clemencia, thank you again. We have our next guest in the waiting room, so we'll let you go.
Right.
But if you have any questions, just email me and I'll be in touch with you. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks.
Hey, Donnie Lee here, keeping it fancy casual. I just wanted to jump in and do this song. I do want to let you know that I have rearranged the lyrics. I have made them more inclusive to all of the relationships that may be represented here today, especially relationships within the community of those with different abilities. So whether you yourself identify as someone with different abilities, or whether you're the caregiver or part of the support group, this song is especially for you. I hope you enjoy.
I'm in love with you, this ain't the honeymoon. We're past the attachment style phase. We're right in the thick of love, at times we get sick of love. It seems like we butt heads every day. I know you feel unheard and I feel overworked, but we both still got room, love to grow. No love sometimes hurts, I still will put you first. We'll make this thing work, but I think we should take it slow. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. We're just ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. Take it slow. Oh, oh. This time we'll take it slow. This ain't no movie, no fairy tale conclusion, no. But it's getting clearer every day. I know you're heaven sent, I know this is covenant. I choose to love you all the way. Your smile is my dream. At times I may seem too busy to share and embrace. Let's take time in this song for a hug, make it long. This love I have for you is more than words could say. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. Take it slow. We're just ordinary people. Take it slow. Take it. Maybe we should take it slow. Take it slow. Take it slow. Oh, oh. This time we'll take it slow.